Mic check.
I used to work on the Keystone Pipeline the first time. They told us as workers that there was not going to be leaks. As we know, there was 12 of them in a 12-month period. One of them was like 400 gallons or barrels. I can't remember. At the base here. Look, girl.
While we were fishing, there's broken up oil on top of the water. They were actually hitting the oil and eating the oil off the top of the water. So
the blue runners?
The blue runners.
Those are the small
and then the amberjack eat the blue runners, and I really don't think that they're digesting the oil, because it's like some have a small amount and some have larger amounts. And the ones with the larger amounts, it's actually eating holes in the wall of the stomach, and the substances, you can physically see it with the naked eye.
Really?
Oil mixed with dispersants, yes.
In walls of the amberjack.
In walls of the stomach of the amberjack, king mackerel, snapper, or whatever we found it. We got shrimp with no eyes, shrimp with growths on, crabs with deformities. You know, all of a sudden we got black all in the gills of the shrimp. Some, not all the shrimp, but when we find a shrimp like that, it's all through the gill. And we brought it to LSU.
I'm in DC meeting with the Environmental Protection Agency, and I'm going to see if there's anything I can do to help people in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Some of these kids haven't been in the water at all this season here. I had like seen a plane like spray for mosquitoes once in a very, very, very... Who is spraying this, and why? You guys don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I mean, I'm coming from the task force. And I hate to do the old "this is my lane" type of thing.
Well, if it is what it is.
I'm working crazy hours on ecosystem restoration, and that's what I'm told to do. You know, there are agencies. I'm so happy to hear you're working or talking to NIEHS, and I know that we've had meetings around this table with other members of HHS, and the contacts and the relationships have been formed there. But you know, as a task force, we are told what it is we're supposed to be working on. We are supposed to coordinate with HHS and make sure that information is getting out there, and we are trying our damnedest to do that. And every time I meet with you all, I learn something new, and I go and I read about it, and which is why we're driven to do stuff that we might be going outside of our lane, which is a risk for us, you know.
Big risk.
So
How's it a risk to do the right thing?
it's a great question, but
Our
it's
taxes pay for you to protect us.
for the whole federal government, but we're broken up into certain agencies. They're all supposed to work on something. I'm trying my damnedest to protect you in the
Let me tell you
ecosystem.
something about the Michigan oil spill. The Emergency Protection Agency buried oil and allowed oil and signed off and cleared areas that have massive amounts of oil underneath the grass and underneath the dirt, and you guys signed off on it.
EPA did.
Yes, I can prove it with documents. And afterwards, and after I dig it up and show the public the oil that you buried in our community, then you guys redug it up. And every time I go out there, the EPA threatens me that I'm not allowed to videotape oil at the river. They've actually said that they have rights over the river. We did an investigation and found out that was a lie. The EPA 100% lied to the police. They have no court order, nothing stopping us from going in the river. They lied to us. They lie to the police every time they call them. Enbridge, the company that is trying to clean it up improperly, calls the police every time I videotape oil that is buried. I want to know what you're going to do about it. Mark Durno over there, he seems like a good guy, but when he signs documents that says that area is clean, and then there's other EPA guys that sign documents, I want to know why there's still oil underneath the grass. I mean, we're talking about 200 dump truck fulls of oil mixed with dirt. that is dug up after it's said it's clear because I make a video about it.
And before you answer that question, I'd like to explain something. Caroline
Is trying to help.
I understand. And
But
also,
you
she's with the Ecosystem Restoration Task Force, which is
a southern-
sponsored by the EPA.
Yeah,
so
like-
she couldn't help you in that case. She can respond to this question, and she can maybe find you help within the system. But I just don't want her to be the focus.
I'm not focused in my anger.
I know, and I know
But-
that you're upset too.
This
She's
is,
been dealing with us
this
being
is
angry from
100%
that.
true what's going on in my community. And you talk about sick people, you can't prove that these people are sick from this. The benzene levels.
And so let's be clear on that. I
You're
didn't say that.
okay.
I'm saying that from the information I'm given right here, without reading anything about it, without seeing the photos, there's only so much I can say.
Okay.
My concern is, let's look at what other toxic exposures there are out there that might be causing this stuff, because I don't want it to be going after one thing when there might be, a new chemical plant putting something out. I'm not trying to dodge the answer. I'm really trying to make sense out of what doesn't make sense to you.
And like I said earlier, don't ever. I appreciate your time, and I don't want. And I understand you're here to help. I don't want you to feel like all of this is
No, I mean, you guys, that's why
directed
we continue
towards
to
you.
meet, is I know that there is a lot of anger and
But
we're willing.
with the photographs, I'm gonna go home, and whenever I go home, I'm gonna go to all these houses, and I'm gonna start taking photographs of these kids and documenting it, and I'm gonna get the photographs that their parents already have with the dates on them, and we're gonna make sure that we get this into your hands, and we're gonna leave it to you
And Stacey.
to be able to do what you can with it, and whenever you can't do something with it, convey that back to us and direct us into the right direction, because this has been a very, like you said, rapid learning process for us all, and I'm sure including yourself. And I really want all the information that we can help get to you, actually get
And
to
I
you.
think the way organizing yourself like that, and you're doing it with videotaping, we get down to a place where, we need to know the facts and nothing but the facts and make decisions that way. And like Sherry was saying, I know I'm a low man on the totem pole in EPA.
I know you are, and I'm sorry.
But I know I can. I understand.
I have to
your
tell
angry,
somebody
right?
what's going on in Michigan, because
I-
nobody
So what-
from there will listen.
What region is that? Who would he need to talk to?
Michigan is in Region 5.
We
They
need
are.
someone for him like you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is EPA has community outreach folks that do exactly what I'm doing right now, and they do it for a full-time job. EPA has 10 offices across the country, including Washington. I have to think about that. Or it's 10 in addition to Washington. Michigan is covered by Region 5, which is based out of Chicago. So they handle it, because the workload's so crazy, we break it down into regions. I don't know how many EPA people are based in Michigan. It could be part of the Michigan's Department of Environmental Protection that they're working with. But I have the ability to work as hard as I can to track down the appropriate people for you to talk to get the ball moving and to be heard and to see
I
what's
complained
really
to the
going on.
EPA, and the guy never made any reports about it and told me he was going to sneak me videos and pictures of the areas that he knew was buried, because he's from Michigan and he wanted to help. And 2 days after I'm fired for complaining about this to the company, his phone number is changed. I mean, I don't understand that. I have an EPA guy on video that said, I don't want to be here for a Michigan winter. I am going to say it's clean. It looks clean to me. They don't, I mean, I have foremen saying this on video. I mean, I haven't made a lot of videos public because I'm not trying to ruin a person's career.
Right, it's dead ends.
But
You're
what
not
I am
getting
trying to do
someone
is get the
saying,
truth out.
I don't want to deal with this.
EPA won't even talk to me.
Who?
Mark Durno and Trisha, I don't know her last name, but nobody from the EPA will talk to me.
And they're based in Michigan?
Based in Michigan, they're working on the Kalamazoo oil spill. Last time we had an EPA meeting, they had 3 police officers there, and they will not allow any questions. We were not allowed to ask any public questions. How do you give a speech from the EPA and not allowed to publicly ask any questions?
Caroline, we have another meeting.
way because John, he's got
as if this is normal, they're diagnosing it that way.
all these basically that all these
People sharing beds, they're saying sharing beds,
Well,
sharing
from the
clothes
people
because
coming
they've
in
been
and being
evacuated.
diagnosed with something that is this.
So they're diagnosing that as scabies.
Yeah.
You know,
Scabies, impetigo, hand, foot, and mouth disease,
Is that, you
and
think that's because they
chicken
don't know,
pox.
or because they're just?
I think it's A because some of them don't know, and I think it's B because they may not want to get involved. I mean, we're talking about litigation, court cases, long-term court cases possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I you know, they take the oath to do no harm, but I think that for a lot of our doctors, if you look back on the Valdez situation, I mean, some of them were in litigation for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And are you guys aware that
They're
the
still in
medical,
litigation.
Yeah, are you guys aware that the medical records for the Valdez were sealed by the court?
Yes.
And the pictures and videos.
2,900 cases were sealed by the court, and that came from Ricky Ott out of Alaska.
yeah.
I think that someone needs to look into that situation because all these agencies keep saying, "Oh, we've never seen anything like this before," and I'm like, "Well, we've had oil spills before all over the globe. How have you never seen anything like this before?" And yesterday, while we were with the EPA, I brought up that they had these medical records that were sealed, and with the
EHS.
right, okay, NIESH. I'm sorry, there's so many
I
always say them
initials
wrong.
up here. But I brought up the fact that
And this is with
they're
Mary Grant.
Yes.
right. I
And
brought
then
up
who in the EPA? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Caroline
Whitehead.
Thank you. So, at any rate, I brought up with both of them that no, I'm sorry, with just the NIESH lady that Miss Mary, that there's these 2,900 cases that have been sealed by the court, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, but 2023, I think that they're sealed until. We need someone to unseal these records because, and I don't know how to do that or if that's even possible, but with that happening there and all these records being sealed, there had to be a reason for them to seal them.
Oh yeah.
Did you get any from the Valdez? Anything similar? Did you ever find any similar
That's what she's
reactions?
saying.
Everything
Yeah.
that they
Hand
went through, they're going through in the Gulf, and in Michigan, I had 200 people show up at a meeting that have the same exact stuff.
But they have some
Yeah.
some photography of the
What's
same sort of
happened?
stuff.
Seizures,
I'll check the
rashes.
video.
Because I would like to see
horrible.
that, because if you're looking at the same thing, you got to wonder, is this, whatever this is that they're treating, is it responsive to the same stuff? Like,
The
are the
use
reasons?
of this core exit, and the government's response has been, unfortunately, we have not conducted any studies on the health effects of core exit, therefore we don't know. It doesn't mean that these patterns haven't existed and happened in oil spill outbreaks. It means the government has chosen to not take responsibility
Right.
by not properly documenting it. So we'll look into this court
That's why that's so
situation of
important.
unsealing it. If that's a possibility, I don't know, but we will explore it further.
Yeah,
Ricky
That's
O.
great.
Ricky O.
Yes, I've been working with her.
Her
She's
book
been a godsend.
Truth and Corporate Myth.
Yes,
And
and I
it's
have
5 minutes.
Absolutely.
What does your organization do?
We're a whistleblower support organization
And
and a public interest law firm. It's a government accountability project. We've been around since the late 70s.
we're in DC right now, and we just met through the Gulf oil spill people. And what can you do to help the people in my community we have a lot of people that are sick. We have actual oil cover-up by the EPA and the oil companies. And I've proven this over and over again. And as you know, I'm a whistleblower. What is it that you can do? We're talking about, like, who can you put me in contact with to help us get the word out more?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and often whistleblowers, I mean, that's the first step, is what support can we provide? And our first question is, what information can you brief us on? We need to become more informed about what's going on. I would ask for further documentation. The fact that you have a lawyer is great. If it means advocacy.
They've already admitted guilt, so we already did depositions. They already, under oath, said they fired me only for going to the press, that they knew that I went to the EPA several times, and that we were told to cover up oil, and if it bothered our conscience, we didn't have to, and that we put cut grass and dirt over oil, but now they're trying to defend themselves, saying they were soaking it up instead of trying to cover it up.
And what company did you
That was SCT Environmental, but Enbridge, the head company, told SCT to release me the next morning and I better not come to work. And they knew it was a whistleblower. They admit that they knew that it was going to be a whistleblower lawsuit.
It sounds like, it sounds like just listening to you, it's very direct retaliation based on your whistleblowing activity.
About the whistleblowers, because, you know,
whistleblowers,
yeah, tell me about other ones.
Well, you were just describing some of the retaliation, the death threats that have been made against you, the reprisal actions. We come in contact with these types of retaliatory actions on a daily basis with the clients we work with, because they're speaking truth to power, and in doing so they become an inherent threat to the wrongdoer. Often the employer, maybe coworkers, it's hard to say, but that's why what you're sharing is not uncommon. And while we go through a verification study to determine that the facts of the case, what an individual is alleging has in fact taken place, we do our homework.
Right.
There isn't anything that we haven't really seen yet, and you know, I hate to say that insofar as threats are concerned. Absolutely.
Because I got people all the time that say, why would these big companies do this? They got all this money in the world. Why would they go after little old you? And I tell them I don't know, but they are.
If you have the truth on your side, it becomes a David versus Goliath scenario. And as we know how that story ended, David was successful. We're a small, nonprofit whistleblower support organization and public interest law firm, but we're effective through the brave employees and citizens that come forward, the whistleblowers that want to disclose the truth and put it into the right hands, because it's supposed to be benefiting the public, and therefore the public needs to be informed of what it is they're bringing forward.
Thank you. So, say your names, please.
Kendra Arneson.
Cherie Foyton.
And tell me who you are, real quick.
I'm the wife of a commercial fisherman and a Louisiana business owner out in Venice.
I'm the wife of an oil worker and the mother of 6, and we both came out to protest the Keystone Pipeline and that nasty, dirty oil they want to bring from Canada down to our Gulf in Texas.
Well, you two have been on the news a lot, probably 50 times at least, and they're going to be making movies about you two. How do you know about me?
Facebook.
We're family at this point. You guys are going through the exact same thing that we've been going through for a year and a half. Not very long after, actually. The weird part is you didn't get as much exposure as we did. I mean, as far as like out there in the media. But
right. I think the reason was because the Gulf happened, and then the Michigan spill was a lot smaller than the Gulf, so we didn't get the publicity. But
you still got sick people just as sick.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of sick people, and I'm trying to do something about it. What do you think about what I'm doing in Michigan? You've seen the videos.
I think you're doing great work. You're telling the truth. Citizen journalism, just like we have in the Gulf. I mean, right now, we have to be the people to stand up and be truth tellers.
What do you think about what we're doing today, circling the White House?
Great. I mean, this is phenomenal. Look at the turnout. I'm honored to be a part of it, really. I really am.
Yep, we have history today, and we're part of it. It's fascinating, and I'm very happy to be your friends and to be a part of this. And I just want to get on video with you two. I want to get a big old hug in here. Two of the best people in the world. These two are right here fighting in the Gulf to protect everybody from BP, and I'm trying to protect Michigan from Enbridge.
And we're teaming up. So you better be scared, because we're coming together now.
And we're trying to stop the Trans-Canada pipeline right now. Thank you.
What affects us affects everyone.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Awesome. It's John Bolenbaugh. It's March 13th, and I'm at a BP station here in Florida. Just show you that all the southern BP stations have been closing down because nobody wants to buy gas from BP. So I'm asking you, please do not go to BP stations in any of the northern states. Support the people in the Gulf. I'm begging you.